So you want to make stickers or other print and cut designs but you're not sure which cutting machine to get? Well, let me compare them for you. I have a Cricut Explore 4, a Silhouette Cameo 5 and a Siser Juliet. All three can make print and cut designs like stickers and card projects, but the Cricut does often get a lot of stick for not being accurate enough. And I don't see a ton about the Siser Juliet for sticker businesses either. So I definitely thought this was a video that needed making. I have also previously posted a comparison video comparing the three machines just more generally. And in that I did a side-by-side comparison of each one cutting a vinyl decal, just tested the speed and things like that. So do check that out if you want to know more. But in this video, I'm going to focus more on just their print and cut capabilities, including how easy it is to create a design, what format they print in, and then most importantly, how accurately they all cut. If you weren't aware already, none of these machines actually print, they only do the cutting, so you do need a printer as well. I have a Canon Pixma, which is great for craft projects, but I would say it is more suitable for hobbies rather than professional use. So let's get going. First, let's compare how easy it is to actually make a sticker design using the three different software programs. Starting with Cricut, you can either create your own design within the software or upload an image, ideally a PNG. Just make sure you're uploading it as a flat graphic. Then if you're on the new version of Design Space, you need to go to this little pen in the top left. And if you have Cricut Access, you can use the sticker feature to either create a die cut design, which will cut right through the backing paper. Just choose how big you want the border to be. Or you can choose Kiss Cut, which only cuts around the sticker and is good for making sticker sheets. And you can also add a die cut edge, which makes it easier to peel. If you don't have Cricut Access, you will need to use Offset instead and just add the border to where you want it, apply. If you want to get rid of the gaps, you can select Contour and hide all contours. Then just change the colour, select both and flatten. So either way, there's a few steps, but pretty easy. Next up is Silhouette Studio. Just go to File, Merge, and then upload the design. Then go to Offset and apply at the distance you would like. If you want to get rid of the gaps, there might be another way to do this, but I right click, release compound path, and just delete any gaps. You may want to change the colour, but you don't need to if you're printing on white. Then when you click send, you can just choose for it to cut around the outline only. You don't need to flatten or anything like that. Then onto Leonardo Design Studio, go to File and Import, and that asks you right away if it is a print and cut image. You can make any edits required here, and you add your offset as you're uploading, although you can only make it so big in this section and it isn't visible unless you hover over it. So you can also just upload the design and then hit the build contours button at the bottom, and then you can make it larger and you have a few more options for editing it. So they all have a bit of a different process, but fairly straightforward, I would say. So next, let's set up a sticker sheet in each one, starting in Design Space again. First, make sure you have the right paper size selected. So go to Settings, Load Type, Print and Cut Page Size, and choose the size of your sticker paper. Now I like to add a template using a square, setting that to print and cut, then maximize until you hit the maximum print and cut area that Cricut will allow. So I'm just pulling it out to about 6.5 and then pulling it down, and this warning pop-up will come up and I can just click auto resize and it will make it as large as I can go. Obviously if you do this a lot, you can just write down the maximum sizes. You don't have to do this every time. Now I'm just using that as a template and uploading my designs over the top. These designs already have offsets added, so I don't need to do that manually. But you would need to follow the process from before if they didn't. If you subscribe to Cricut Access, then you can also just add images from this side panel straight into the canvas, which is quite useful if you're not too specific about what you want. So once you have filled up the space, hide the template, then you need to select all and hit attach. Save, and this is what your printed sheet will look like. Next to Silhouette, they have a print and cut sidebar, and if you click enable registration marks, it shows you where you can add your designs. You also need to go to page setup as well though to set your media size to the same as your sticker paper, and then you will need to only add your designs within the red line and not over the hatch marks. Then just merge and add your designs. I did do a couple of slightly different ones, but I'm making sure they're all the same dimensions as the ones I did in Cricut, so we can see how many each software can fit on one page. Because of the crosshatches, it does make it a bit more difficult to line them up and space them neatly, but I just managed to get 15 on, the same as in Design Space, which I was quite surprised at. I thought there would be more space in Silhouette as the registration marks are smaller. You don't need to attach these, they will just stay in the same place on the next page. Just make sure that none of the outlines are overlapping each other. Onto Siser, and you just have to click the print and cut feature on here and use the drop down to change the paper size, then file and import, and again I'm making sure they are the exact same size as the ones before. This time if you try to place it too close to the outside, the edges will turn red. So this is how you know where your boundaries are. And the black lines around the designs just expand to fit depending on how many you add. So there is my full sheet. Again, I could only fit the same 15 on there. There is definitely a bit more space to the right here though, which you could utilise with smaller designs. But it is interesting that all three can fit the same amount when it comes to designs around the 1.5 to 2 inches mark. When you click Send Design on Leonardo, it actually splits it into the printed page and the cutting page. Again, just make sure no outlines are overlapping. I'm using Tech Wrap matte white vinyl sticker paper for all three cuts. All three technically can also cut glossy sticker paper, but sometimes they do have a bit of trouble with that if it's too reflective. So if you're using Silhouette, you can also get sticker paper like this, where there is a matte section for the black lines to go. Now for printing and cut settings. So with Cricut, you click Make, Continue and Send to Printer, and it comes up with this print setup pop-up. I tend to always turn bleed off when I'm making stickers with white outlines, and I toggle Use System Dialog on so I can adjust my printer settings. The print settings box may pop up behind Design Space, and you can use this to adjust the quality, then print. For cut settings, there are various pre-added settings to choose from. I tend to go with Sticky Note for a kiss cut, but it really depends on the material you're using. On the Cameo, you need to press the print button from here, or you can do it on the previous page. That will automatically bring up the print settings box. You can adjust and then print and then move on to the settings. They also have various sticker presets. I'm just going for sticker paper white, and again make sure that only the outlines are selected before cutting. Then in Leonardo it wasn't finding my printer, so I had to just save the design as a PDF and print that, making sure it printed at 100% scale so that there was no difference when I came to cut it. Then moving on to the settings, you actually need to set these on the machine, and there aren't any sticker presets. I just had to look up some tips online and then change the speed and force. You can do a quick test cut by clicking this little shirt though if you want to test that you have the right setting, and that worked well, so I'll stick with that one. So now it's time to cut. This is the Cricut sheet. It registers the black lines and then cuts from there. This is what it sounds like. And from pressing go to finishing, it took 2 minutes and 56 seconds. And there is the finished sheet. The cut lines are quite visible. There is a bit of a messy cut there, and it has cut into the backing slightly for a few of them. But this can be improved with a different cut setting or a stickier mat, to be fair. They do otherwise peel well and look pretty well aligned. On to the Cameo next. I'm adding my paper to a cutting mat, but you can actually now get an electrostatic mat as well. And this is what it sounds like. And from start to finish, that one took 3 minutes and 36 seconds. And these are the finished stickers. The cut lines aren't as visible, but it peels so easily. It hasn't gone through to the backing, and it is perfectly aligned, I would say. The only downside to these are that they look a bit messy being all over the page, but you could definitely remedy that with different designs. And then the Juliet. It surprised me that the printed page looked almost the same as the Cricut one, other than a couple of different designs. I feel like you're not getting that much more space at all, but again, as mentioned before, maybe if you had some smaller designs, you could fit those in on the right of the Juliet page. So adding it to the mat, with the Juliet you actually have to put it all the way through the machine so the mat's bottom left corner is lined up with the blade. And then you can press the camera to make sure you have the black lines in the correct place. This is a bit more technical, but once you get the hang of it, it's fine. Then press cut, and this is what it sounds like. And that one took 1 minute and 54 seconds. so much quicker than the others. And again, easy to peel, well aligned. The paper does just look a bit scrumpled as I didn't peel it off the mat very carefully. So overall, all three make great stickers. I would probably just recommend Cricut for beginners. The setup is the easiest and most beginner friendly. Silhouette has the cleanest cuts and is the quickest for uploading designs. And then the electrostatic mat would be good for minimizing the risk of bending your sticker sheet at the end too. And although the Juliet takes a bit of setting up, once that is done, I think it would be the best for businesses that want to make larger quantities because of its speed. And you can probably fit a few more designs on the page if they're smaller. Let me know in the comments if you were on the fence about which machine to choose and if this has helped, or if it has made the decision harder. And please like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Thanks so much for watching.